Previously on the Jay and Dan podcast.
I mean, let's be honest. We've all the Sears catalog. That's what I always do. I always read Playboy.
Yeah, you were reading it while waiting at the gate. There's
like literature.
Old lady sitting next to us.
Okay,
Watch
so
DuckTales.
So
where's the girl?
This is why I trail off, because you interrupted me constantly.
She never shows up. My daughter's upset.
And then she says, for the millionth time, that's only for babies. And he looks at her and in a deadpan voice says, goo goo gaga.
Holy wow.
Is that for real?
That is for realsies.
That's like, let's just hurry up with this. The demo.
I don't have the lyrics done. It doesn't matter.
Doody doody doo. I'm an old man.
You're listening to the Jay and Dan podcast.
Taio Wu. Taio Wu. I think that's dance in Mandarin Chinese. Just learning some Chinese.
Welcome to the Jay and Dan podcast, episode number 29, brought to you by Astroglide.
When you can't jam it in, get yourself some hot lube.
So I looked this up on Wikipedia. The founder of Astroglide's name is Daniel Astral. So he named the lube after himself.
Astral?
Astral. So he just took off the L.
Astral. Is he also the president of Astral Media?
Yes.
The radio station company that Bell just purchased?
So we might get some free Astroglide.
Cases of Astroglide. That's me after applying the Astroglide to myself.
Someone sent us a tweet probably a few months back, said their favorite part of the podcast was the recap of the previous podcast. I'd have to agree.
Yeah. Maybe we should just stop at that.
No, it's all summed up in like
end
30
it.
seconds.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's like our demo tape.
That's Christoph's handiwork. Christoph, nice work.
Great work, Christoph. Good to have Christoph here. Mike Gentile's here as well. It's episode 29. Who do we have on the show today? Isaiah Mustafa.
What?
That's right. You remember him as the face of Old Spice. He was the mustache guy.
He's not around anymore?
He's on the
still
horse.
is, right?
I don't think he's the spokesperson, though, anymore.
Oh.
No, he's gone. But now he's in Amsterdam. We're going to be talking to him from Amsterdam. Where do you go when you lose your job and your whole life falls apart? The Netherlands. That's where I'd be going.
Makes sense.
I should be going there now. And Jason Strudwick, former Islander, Canuck, Blackhawk, Ranger, and Edmonton Oiler, and now a radio host in Edmonton. Struds! He's going to be on the show later as well. Can't wait. Love Strudsy. Oh, let's crack these open.
We played for the Kentucky Thoroughblades, too.
We got the NOS back this week. I found I like the little Red Bull flavored Red Bulls, but it's not enough energy for me. I need more.
Well, it's just the little tiny baby cans. Just a baby energy drink.
Yeah, it's not enough for me.
We need the granddaddy size.
You know what I did? You know how I always have my lunches with friends and family during the week? Well, yesterday I crushed 3 pints before work, and I probably shouldn't have said that, but I did. And I found I was really sluggish for some reason. Because I had 3 pints of, like, Guinness before work.
Oh, yeah, you'd want a nap after that.
I did want a nap. And then you brought in the Red Bull energy drinks. They weren't enough. I was still sluggish, like a wet sponge.
Sorry. I find a heavy meal always makes me into the sleepy mood. Well, actually, any activity, waking up makes me sleepy. A lot of things make me sleepy.
What about, wait a minute, you're always sleepy. It's true.
It is.
Yeah, you're always sleepy. But you actually have children, people you have to care for.
I have to
responsibilities.
Ensure 2 other humans live. Yes.
Hey, speaking of which, I'm going to be coming out to your mansion this weekend. We're going to be hanging out. Hey, you, me, and the kids. It's going to be great.
My North Ottawa mountain.
I can't wait to come to your North Ottawa mountain.
We're going to be going to Buffalo Wild Wing, having some wings.
I can't wait. I finally get to go to Buffalo Wild Wings.
Make sure eating the jerk chicken, man. I was just going to say, you should have the Caribbean jerk wings. They're a perfect amount of hot, but not too hot. Not like this is disgusting hot.
I'm excited, but I'll probably have the traditional wings there. Now, are there like just like the commercials, a million screens, and then they have control over all the sports in the world? And if
Yes.
they want the games to go to overtime, they can just do it?
I don't think they have that. But every sport in the world, like if you want to watch a cricket match, you can watch that.
They'll put that on the screen for you. Love it.
You'll watch the one in the corner, but you'll be watching it.
You'll be by yourself next to the kitchen.
Yeah. It's all good. They're nice people there.
I should point out something else, Dan, that I just found out before we came on the show. Someone tweeted me and said, I pre-ordered your book on Amazon. I was like, well, it's not even published yet. And I went on Amazon, and sure enough, it's there. So, folks, go pre-order Anchor Boy, Stories from Sports and Life by Jay Onright. It says 288 pages. Again, it hasn't been published yet, so I'm pretty sure that's a guesstimate. It'll probably be more like 45 pages.
You said you wrote a lot of words, though.
It's a lot of words. I think it'll be close to 250 to 300.
So did you just write the words and throw them in a hat and hopefully they came out together?
I'm praying that the sentences even are coherent. Literally the words, not even sentences. I threw in a hat and just threw them against the wall.
I'd love to read that book.
Yeah, it'll be, I think you'll enjoy it. It'll be good. There's some stuff in there about you and producer Tim.
Again, it better be good or I'm not talking to you ever again.
I think a lot of people feel the same way. So go order it. It's on Amazon.ca right now.
So you aren't confirming or denying if it's good?
Well, it's hard. I'm too close to it, Toolsy. No, I think it's good.
No, I mean the stuff about me.
Oh, the stuff about you. No, it's all very positive.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, the stuff about Tim, I call him
The swear word beep is going to be the pilot theme song of Happy Days? What is it?
No, Three's Company.
Have we had Happy Days?
Yeah. Did we? I think we did. Christoph thinks we did.
I don't know. Gentile's got the sheet.
Gentile, have we had Happy Days? Yeah, we did Happy Days. Yeah, we talked about the Fonz.
I was allowed to watch that.
You were?
I was, yeah.
Okay, well, that makes sense. It was just like a good old Midwestern American family.
Exactly.
Nobody was living in sin there, except they had a creepy leather-jacketed dude living above the garage who's probably had his eyes on Joni.
Who didn't?
I wasn't.
Andy Griffith. I also watched that.
Yeah, you were allowed to watch Andy Griffith.
Although, Andy living with his mom at that age. Come on.
It's a little creepy, isn't it?
She annoyed the hell out of me. The way she talked. I think she's dead now, so I'm making fun of a dead person, but...
Goo goo gaga.
Goo goo gaga.
Hey, apparently, we had Bruce Arthur on last week. Boy, he was funny. And apparently, Mike Gentile was telling me that on Dave Naylor's radio show this week, they were talking about Ronald McDonald and the fact that he seems to have disappeared from McDonald's ads, and you're trying to bring him back with your Twitter avatar, Dan.
That's right. I got my picture taken on a stage with him. Really creepy.
So wait, you have to explain that. You were at an event, and
it was like the top companies in Canada, and McDonald's was one of them. So the McDonald's guy came up to accept their award, and Ronald came up with him. So I'm like, I got to get this. So in the middle of hosting this event, I'm like, can someone take this picture?
Okay, so hold on. This is like a business award luncheon that you're emceeing.
Yep.
And the McDonald's CEO is like, who do I bring as my escort? Oh, I don't know. How about this full-grown clown?
Why not, eh? So Ronald's not around. Either is the Hamburglar.
Yeah. Where's Grimace? Where did that guy go?
They could be making a fortune off these guys. Maybe they're projecting the wrong image, though. Mayor McCheese?
Mayor McCheese, the Fry guy. What about Birdie, the Birdie, early bird, whatever? She was like, the Birdie?
Early bird?
Yeah, it was like Birdie or something. You got to look that up. There was like some sort of Birdie or
there
something.
There they are. There's all those creeps. Here
but seriously, why would you take those? Well, because they were creeps, I guess. Nobody likes clowns.
So we got Grimace.
Yeah.
Ronald McDonald. We got him.
Yeah.
Sunday is Ronald's dog.
Yeah, that's bullcrap.
He only appears in the Wacky Adventures of Ronald McDonald.
Was that like a show?
I don't know what that is.
Okay. All right.
Hamburglar, got him.
Yeah.
Birdie, the early bird.
Yeah, there you go.
Right.
I knew there was something about that. She was like the breakfast sponsor.
She was the first identifiably female character.
Grimace, the jury's still out. We didn't see any genitals on Grimace.
The Fry Kids.
Yeah, I remember them.
Officer Big Mac.
Yeah, I kind of remember that, yeah.
Captain Crook.
I don't remember that.
He was a pirate, and his similar appearance to the famed Captain Hook.
Was there a McRib sandwich mascot guy?
Now they're just making stuff up. The professor, a bearded scientist type character in a lab coat, served as McDonaldland's local inventor and researcher.
Yeah, I can kind of remember that.
The Hamburger Patch. He's part of the fictional city of McDonaldland.
That's where all of Hamburglar's bastard children were born.
And at this point, they just gave up. Uncle O'Grimacy.
That sounds like something you'd say on the show. Oh, we have the Wacky Adventures of Ronald McDonald theme song here, courtesy of Christoph. Let's give it a listen.
Come on! Everybody! The Wacky Adventures of Ronald McDonald. Hey kids, did you hear the news? Time to put on your adventure shoes. Get ready for some big surprises. Adventures come in lots of sizes. We'll have fun, be outrageous. Wackiness is sure contagious. Come on, Hamburger, Birdie, Grimace too. I want you all with me, and that includes you. On the way to play, on the run for fun.
I got it.
Going miles for a smile.
God, look at him.
Come on, everyone.
I'm just looking at it as this plays.
I didn't even know he was singing.
Oh yeah, it's like he's singing. He's playing drums. He's got like an Elvis hairdo.
Okay, we're so deep into this. There's some more characters.
Okay, let's see. Hear it. By the way, McDonald's, hey, love to have you as a sponsor.
So Uncle O'Grimacy created the Shamrock Shake. The Happy Meal
that's a
Gang.
treat.
The McNugget Buddies.
What?
Again.
They're really not that creative, eh?
Trash cans. Talking twin trash cans, which involved having to deposit garbage into them to feed them.
So, again, where was the McRib character?
Bernice? Do you remember a strange creature that was introduced in 92 to 2001. She ate inedible things like the script. Ronald McDonald making movies commercial. Yeah, I better keep Bernice out of here. She just eats paper.
She's just eating garbage.
But then people might think, well, she likes it. She eats that because she doesn't like the McDonald's food.
McGarbage.
Next to Bernice was Vulture, an unnamed vulture that spoke in monotone voice.
That was a Spider-Man villain.
I'm Hungry, a short-lived McDonaldland character who's self-proclaimed vice president of snacking.
Someone's making all this up. There's no way any of this is real.
Griddler, a short-lived McDonaldland character to promote the McGriddles by stealing them from Ronald and his friends.
Yeah.
And finally, thank goodness, Mike the Microphone. He was a one-time character created for the Kid Rhino albums. Ronald makes it...
What?
He guards the door and runs things inside the McDonaldland Magic radio station.
Boy, there was a whole other world of McDonaldland characters that I had no idea about.
Well, you're probably too young to remember the short-lived itching, scratching friends hour. They had to come up with some friends. There's Disgruntled Goat, Uncle Ant, Ku Klux Klan. Oh, yeah. They weren't very funny. I don't know. Disgruntled Goat had his moments.
Yeah. But I think we can all agree that everyone's favorite was Bernice. Hey, guys, we got this new character. Let's spitball here. What do you think?
What should she be into?
A happy pale kid. How about Bernice? Okay, let's go with it.
Yeah, how about we have her just eat paper all day? Everyone should go to @TSN O'Toole and see Dan's Twitter avatar, because that was an actual person dressed as Ronald McDonald.
Oh, he was happy.
Holy man, that is creepy.
And also, there was another mascot there, the Porter Airlines. Did they have a beaver?
Oh, no, it's a raccoon, I think.
A raccoon.
Yeah.
He was there, I think, too.
Right. I hate raccoons. God, they're awful animals.
They're part human.
They're awful. They're all over downtown Toronto. They're the worst.
They make eye contact you and they aren't scared.
No, they're totally not scared. I love running them over on the Don Valley Parkway. I mean...
You can't say that.
I would never do that. I love all animals. Better watch out, raccoons. Daddy doesn't really look out the front windshield when he drives down the Don Valley Parkway. Look out.
My mom had a raccoon coat. A raccoon fur coat. Again, we lived on a farm.
Whoa. Back up.
Yeah, that was her fur coat.
Hold on a second.
Raccoon fur coat.
I think maybe, do you think your dad just hit a raccoon, picked it off the road?
No, it
on the way
would
to
have been
the
a lot
farm?
of them. It would have been a lot of them because it was big. It was
So
like
over time, he
400
gathered he'd hit a raccoon maybe once a year, and then after about 5-6 years, he went to a seamstress and said, "You put these together for a coat for my babe."
had the hat to go with it too. And then my brother one time going to a hockey game in Keene, Ontario. My brother's like, "I hate this hat." Threw it out the window.
There's no way your mom had a raccoon coat.
She did.
There's no...
Okay. Well, can we call up Sean O'Toole?
Yeah.
We need instant verification.
Yeah, we got to find this out. I can't wait to hear this story.
Okay, I'll write down the number here.
Also later, Jeremy Taggart's going to join us with another Old Man Taggart tale. And we're going to have some good TV themes this week. I like these two. These were suggested by you, the listeners. Feel free to send us your suggestions at @JandDanTSN and follow us on Twitter at
We love the
JandDanTSN.
suggestions also by the one gentleman said, "You got to come up with something different than the TV theme ball that sucks." I thought last week's was the best one ever.
It was awesome.
Doody doody dee doo. I listened that while driving around, and I was howling. I was crying.
It was great. I had no idea they even shot that pilot. No clue whatsoever. Before we get to your brother, can we talk about this Wayne Gretzky commercial that's playing on radio in Toronto?
I haven't heard it.
Oh, good. I'm so glad. Here we go. So this is the great one. The great one. Wayne Gretzky voicing a commercial for Wayne Gretzky's restaurant in downtown Toronto.
This is Wayne Gretzky reminding you that there's no better place in Toronto to watch the game than right here at my restaurant, Wayne Gretzky's 99 Blue Jays Way. This place is crazy when it's filled with hockey fans. And make no mistake, Toronto has the biggest hockey fans I know. Trust me, I know. We have 20 HD TVs, great menu, great service. We have everything here except for that Stanley Cup. Be here for the next game, 416-979-PUCK.
Wow.
Trust me, I know. What does he mean by that?
They needed to feed him some energy drinks there.
The great one? Oh, I love him so much, but wow.
If you ever go to that restaurant and you go into the washroom to do your business, Wayne's interviews are playing, and he's introducing them.
So Wayne is looking down at your junk as you're trying to pee, and it's like him on Hockey Night in Canada? Is that what it is?
It's him all over the map, like him being interviewed when he was like 10 and all different times on Hockey Night in Canada.
Okay.
No, he's going to pick up now.
We're trying to arrange
some hand
to get
signals here.
Sean O'Toole on. Toolsy's trying to direct the podcast here.
No.
So Sean O'Toole is coming on here in a second. He's going to explain.
Just a verification.
We're going to verify.
We want some verification on something.
Yeah. We want to verify raccoon coat. That's going to be the hottest
When was
thing
the last
at
time-
Zellers.
Did you see a single person in a fur jacket this summer? This winter.
Yes, I have seen people in like fur coats. I think fur is kind of back now, Toolsy. It's back. It's the hottest thing ever. Why don't you get like a nice big raccoon coat?
It's against all things.
Get yourself a nice raccoon coat.
Okay, so Sean O'Toole is joining us on the line. Sean, we were just discussing fur coats. Can you confirm or deny that our mother used to have a raccoon fur jacket?
She had a beauty of a raccoon jacket.
Sean, there's no way. Where did she get that?
I don't know. It was the 70s and 80s.
Now, did she not also have a hat to go with it that you threw out a window?
No. She had knitted a really ugly hat for herself, and we were on the way to the Keene Arena to play some hockey, and I was teasing her by holding it out the window, and it flew out of my hand.
I thought it was the fur hat to go with the fur coat.
No. I think I would have been... I don't think I would have got to play hockey that night if I was throwing the raccoon hat out.
Now, the raccoon coat, does it still exist to this day? Have you guys talked to your mom about that? Has she saved that for you boys?
I think it's
That
gone.
would be a pretty sweet heirloom, but wouldn't fit me. It might fit Dan.
I would look great strolling down the street. I'd be like Kramer.
I said turd, pimp. I'm not a pimp.
How cool would it be, Sean, if Dan came into work every night with just a big raccoon coat on?
But the thing is,
That would be pretty styling.
I'd wear it until there was like no hair left on it, so it'd be patchy. It'd be like it would look like a raccoon that was really sick that you made into a coat,
like a raccoon with AIDS.
What the hell were you guys talking about? That raccoon coats came up.
Nothing. Never you mind. You'll have to listen to the pod. Thanks for coming back on to verify things.
Okay, take care.
Thanks, Sean.
Okay, bye-bye.
Good guy. I like having Sean O'Toole on. Every week we should have him on.
Well, we got to bring Vince O'Toole into the mix at some point.
Yeah.
Get his verification because his stories, well, our stories align pretty well there.
Yeah, kind of, except that they absolutely didn't. You said it was a raccoon hat, and it was a hat that your mom...
We were driving to the same place.
That's true. You did get the Keene... Was it the Keene Arena?
The Keene Arena.
Yeah, you did get that right. I'll give you that. Wow. I still can't believe the great one. Wouldn't you have even Janet voice that over instead?
Or his daughter.
Oh, don't talk about Paulina like that. I don't like all these dudes creeping on the great one's daughter. I know she's asking for it. I know she's posting the pics of her in the cop outfit.
I didn't see that.
Oh, you didn't? Let's see if we can find it. I'll find it for you.
A sexy basketball player?
It's like the great one deserves more respect than that.
Does he really need to be voicing radio ads? And here's the thing. So we were in Edmonton a couple of weeks ago. We mentioned that on the podcast.
Yep.
Why is there not a Gretzky's in Edmonton?
Well, what I think we came to the conclusion...
Oh, in the new rink.
Yeah, that in the new rink, and if Daryl Cates is listening, and obviously he is, because he listens every week, if he's listening, he should definitely talk to the great one about getting a Wayne Gretzky's restaurant into the new arena in Edmonton. Because you're right, there's a statue of him outside of the arena. There's no reason why there shouldn't be a restaurant there.
And if Daryl's listening, as he is, they should name one of the restaurants in the rink after his kid's hair. Kate's kid's hair.
Kate's kid's hair.
Because he's got the big fro. It's awesome.
It's pretty spectacular.
I love it. And I mean that. I do love it.
Well, and the best part is him being dragged up or insisting on coming up for every Edmonton Oiler inevitable first overall draft pick. He stands up there. Again, the draft process in the NHL is so brutal because in the NBA, David Stern gets up, announces a pick, shakes the kid's hand, gone. NFL, same thing. Gets up, Goodell gets up, shakes the kid's hand, gone. Gary Bettman gets up, says hello, and then it's a parade of GMs, head scouts. Hey, congratulations to the Kings on winning the cup. Hey, thanks to Pittsburgh for hosting us and having a great time. Shut the up and pick the kid.
Why doesn't Bettman just do it?
Exactly. That's my point. Bettman should just get up, say, the Carolina Hurricanes select Dan O'Toole from the Keene Arena in Ontario. Boom, gone. You come up, you take your picture with Gree Bettman, and away you go.
The thing that I'd love to see is if, say, Panthers or Coyotes got up there and they say, and hi to all our fans at our viewing party at Jim's Stink Tank.
They do that every time.
I know, but I want to see a camera at this place to see how many fans are at this viewing party.
I'd like to go to a bar called Jim's Stink Tank. Here's Paulina as a cop. I'm just going to show Toolsy. There she is. Yeah. It's... we can't look at this, though. She's the great one's daughter. It's disrespectful. It is nice, though.
One correction from last week. It's not a correction. It's just adding to the last week's podcast in which I interrupted you because of watching DuckTales, and my daughter always wants to see the girl duck come, and I onto the show.
Yeah, that was... You stepped into that one, didn't you?
Webigail. I should have known that.
That's the name of the duck?
Webigail, a female child who secretly wants to be accepted as the fourth nephew.
So it's a child who wants to be a duck?
No, she's a duck.
Oh, she is a duck.
But but it's Huey, Dewey, and Louie are the main characters. Abigail shows up like every 7th episode.
Oh, kind of like what's BJ Birdie or Birdie or the early bird?
BJ Birdie was the Jays.
The original Jays mascot. By the way, that should still be the Jays mascot.
Well, here's the thing. So we had a top 10 this week, top 10 mascot malfunctions or something. I don't know.
It was, yes, it was because Ace ran into the outfield wall.
But you say he does that every game.
He does that every single game. They just had a camera on him and put it in slow-mo.
So if you've got some time in your hands, when I was researching my intro, I looked it up. BJ Birdie has about 8 paragraphs on him on Wikipedia. It's extensive how him and the Jays didn't get along and how there was turmoil and how the Jays, before his contract ended, told him just stay home.
Oh my God. That was nasty.
That was the old Nas.
That was guttural right there.
So BJ
Wow.
Birdie, and then they came up with Ace and Diamond, and then Diamond got punted. Diamond got put down.
Diamond was the girl, right?
Yeah.
The girl Birdie. You all right? You letting some gas out there?
Yep.
Speaking of letting out some gas.
Whoa.
You know, this is the thing when you work with someone in close confines, like on a Sports Center set. And so I don't know what you ate yesterday, but you had some intestinal issues, and you were just letting them go.
Personal.
Every second, you're just letting them fly. But the worst part is you were firing it towards me, not towards the other side of the set.
It was uncomfortable.
It reminded us of this.
Damn it, I'm here on business! Who did this to us?
That's the best moment from Ted.
Ted is so funny. You didn't like it. But I thought
What was that last? Can you play that other one again?
Who did this to us?
Another one. Another one.
Damn it, I'm here on business!
Damn it, I'm here on business.
But it's true. Like, I was at the ballroom, the bowling alley in downtown Toronto, the hip, cool bowling alley on Saturday night, and I was standing around talking to a couple of people, and you know how it is? Like, you're standing around talking, and then all of a sudden you just smell that silent fart, and everyone's just like, do we acknowledge this, or do we just continue on with our lives and pretend that we don't smell this? Pretend our eyes aren't watering.
Or that it's entered your mouth and you start tasting it.
Yeah, just a rich, pungent stench.
Dan O'Toole, Silent Assassin.
The ballroom.
How was it? I'm supposed to go to a 40th there.
It's really fun, but what I didn't realize is that the bowling alley is sort of on the lower floor, and then upper floor, it was a birthday party I went to. It's like a club. It's like a nightclub up there. Stats guy was there from the Molson That's Hockey Tonight.
I don't think it's sponsored by Molson. I think it's just That's Hockey.
Just That's Hockey Tonight with Steve Coolius.
Good old
Stats
Ottawa
guy
boy.
was there. Oh, man, the ladies were flocking. Stats guy. Oh, Stats guy. I love your segment.
Was he wearing a blazer with jeans?
I think he left the blazer at home. Yeah.
He's a great guy. I like that guy.
Yeah.
Speaking of letting them go, we've been meaning to get to this like since about 3 podcasts ago, but it never got written on our sheet.
Okay.
So we keep forgetting it. It's something that Health Canada came up with. The big city kind of like it.
Health Canada, here I come.
It's to get people away from smoking, but putting it in a different context.
I like this.
Well, it's true that I fart, but I wouldn't call myself a farter. I'm a social farter. I really only do it when I'm out with my friends that fart. We hang out, we drink, we dance, just have some fun being together. Farting. Sometimes I'll use farting as an excuse to meet a guy. Do you want to go outside for a fart? We talk. We fart. Just because I fart at parties now and then, it doesn't make me a farter.
Think about it. Really makes you think, doesn't it?
Keith Richards was on Fallon the other night, and after he left, he was Jimmy Fallon was telling Edie Falco, said, so Keith Richards just walks around smoking, and like No one else smokes, but his security guard comes up and says, "Hey, you shouldn't be doing that." He goes, "Yeah, no, smoking's bad for your health." But he's like, no one told him to put it out.
Yeah, well, who's going to tell Keith Richards to put out his
Did you watch that interview?
I did. It was the Lemon Tree?
He's kind of, he's different.
Keith Richards? Yeah. Yeah, I'd say so. He's done a lot of heroin.
Yeah, and he explained why they're going on tour. It's not because they need the money. He's like, hey, you get bored at home.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. He has nothing else to do.
Yeah.
Can I talk about an appearance I made on CFRB 1010 radio this past Sunday, Dan?
Sure.
I was on the Pei Chen show with Pei Chen. It was an appearance on there, and we spent a lot of time talking about this study, and it's a study by the State University of New York, and the name of the study is Oral Sex Good for Women's Health. Let me give it just a quick read.
And you were on as an expert?
Hope so. The State University of New York study, which scientists carried out via survey rather than through practical experiment, compared the sex lives of 293 females to their mental health. It follows research which shows that semen contains chemicals that elevate mood, increase affection, induce sleep, and contain at least 3 antidepressants.
Semen
contains at least 3 antidepressants. So Pei and I, who is the host of the show, discussed it. I believe we have a quick clip.
Like, why are we ashamed? Yeah, we're ashamed. Exactly. We're completely ashamed of ourselves. And what we're saying now on this show, because we offer perspective and more, is that you don't have to be ashamed to swallow. You don't have to be ashamed to eat fried chicken. You don't have to be... No, but people, it's the age-old story, right? Like, it's the spit-swallow question that's been going on for years and years, and I think swallow won.
Well, I don't know.
Swallow wins.
Swallow wins.
I know Pei Chen. She's part of children's programs.
Yeah. Pei,
she's on 4 Squared.
You may recognize Pei from a bunch of different stuff. If you live in Winnipeg, she hosted breakfast television there.
Were you in studio?
Yes, I was. And this Sunday, Jeremy Taggart is going to be your co-host.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So here's the 4 Square show that she helps host. But watch these leotard people that show up. It creeps the hell out of me.
This is good podcast listening right here.
That's right. All the parents will know what this is. I don't.
The leotard people.
Here they come. They're there.
Oh, yeah, that is pretty creepy. Pretty much anyone in leotards.
But the guys got to, they got their junk all covered up. And
yeah, that's not good. Can I just say, though, the best part of this whole spit swallow thing is that Adrienne, who you may remember was filling in for Christoph a few weeks ago.
She did a stellar job.
She sent me an email.
Oh.
And because I sent her that clip, I said, can you cut this up for the podcast? So I sent her the clip, and she wrote me back. She said, "Hi, Jay. It's Adrian. I sat in with the podcast a few weeks ago. I just sent you an account to send the podcast file about semen and how good it is for women. I can't access because Bell Media blocked it. But I have set up an account that you can send it to, and I can access it and cut the necessary clips. My favorite part of that is just semen and how good it is for women."
Swallow wins.
Swallow wins. Yeah, Pei wasn't ready to commit to that.
Again, I apologize to anyone who was trying to listen to this podcast in the vehicle with their kids.
Who would ever do that?
Goo goo gaga. Well, it came on in my car the other day, and I'm like hitting buttons.
Stop it!
So I just ran into a tree.
That's silly.
Because my daughter, she's 5 and a bit, so she's now at the stage where she try to have these whispered conversations or talk around her in code, but she's a code breaker now.
About what?
Well, anything. It's nothing bad. It's just talking about stuff.
Raccoon coats.
Yes. By the way, my brother followed that up with, "That was a very nice fur coat" text. Sounds like we brought back some good memories.
Yeah. Maybe Sean's out looking for raccoons in the forest right now.
Or maybe this is Maybe this has jogged Sean's memory, and maybe he's going to go buy a fur coat.
That's what I'm saying. He's going to sew together various raccoon pelts. Maybe we could open up a store that's just raccoon coats and accessories.
PETA, if you want to sponsor the podcast, and these raccoons were dead.
No, your mom slit their throats. Okay, just slit their throat. No, she didn't do that, but she would run over them with her car.
No. There was no running over.
Okay. All right. I guess they just all committed suicide in your yard?
Have you ever seen a dog after they got in a fight with a porcupine?
Yeah, they've got like quills right in their nose.
Did I ever tell you about my dog, Fonzie?
Oh, here we go.
He got in a fight with a porcupine.
Fonzie stories.
Sorry, there's another little gurgle in my throat there.
You got some problems there.
So he came back, face full of porcupine quills. Like just in his mouth, everything.
Yeah.
So my dad's like, okay, you got to stand here with the hose, and I'm going to rip them out. I'm like, okay. So he got the pliers and then starts yanking quills out. So there's blood everywhere. God. I'm like, I have to douse it. So this is the worst part. It's a sound that'll forever haunt me for the rest of my life. This is how the dog started yelling after. So he stopped like yelping and stuff. It turned into this. I don't mean to laugh, but it's. So he sounded like a man yelling in pain. It was horrifying.
I'm starting to understand why you turned out the way you did.
And then that dog later in life died in my arms.
Oh, jeez, you really brought the whole thing down here, Toolsy.
Sorry, we were on the way to put him down. We were driving to the vet. I was in the back of the pickup truck. He's lying in my arms. I got to lie back, and then he's like, done.
Wow, that was like, this is the most depressing episode we've ever done.
It's all good.
Boy, PETA is all over us for this one.
Well, I didn't kill the dog.
Raccoon coats, quills. Punky Brewster's dog dying in Dan's arms. And then, of course, this.
It sounded like someone stepped on that dog to get that sound.
Jason Strudwick, is this the kind of quality topic that you tackle each and every night on your radio show in Edmonton?
I'll say what, just ring a bell when the story's over. Then we know we should cry or laugh, right? I don't know which way I should go right now. I'm kind of on the fence.
It's supposed to bring a raw emotion. I'm not going to tell you how to feel.
Oh, okay. So, well then I guess, I don't know. I don't know which way I'm going to go. I guess it's kind of funny. Is that a normal response? Or which way I don't even know which way to go.
I'm beyond confused at Dan right now. Dan, do you have any other sad stories to tell us?
I'll come up with a few later.
Holy man.
So everyone dry your eyes. It's all good. We're good. Strudwick, so you're a big radio star now. You were in the NHL. For what? You played close to 700 games in the NHL, and now you're on the radio like us.
Yeah, well, you know what? I actually played almost about 650 games, probably 600 good ones, 50 bad ones, right? That's kind of how it goes. And then, after the NHL really figured out that I was doing more bad games than good games towards the end of my career, they kicked me out. So here I am looking for something new, and I fell into this gig, and I'm on at radio 3 hours a night, and I'm loving it. It's a great little career to change into after playing hockey for so long.
Is it something that you always wanted to do, Struds? Did you always want to be in the media, or was it just that you couldn't think of what else to do after you were done playing?
Well, I did apply to become the CEO of Dell, and I never got a call back. So that was weird. I'm still waiting. If someone knows somebody, maybe they can push me in there, because I do use some Dell products. But that being said, it's kind of weird how I found I wanted to do it. I was playing for Chicago. I was I was about 27, 28, and I broke my wrist. So at that time, the Chicago wasn't very good, and it was in a crazy move. Dale Talon was the color man with Pat Foley for the Chicago Blackhawk broadcast. He goes from color man to assistant GM, boom, just like that. So the team, I literally, the same day that happened, I broke my wrist. So the team was looking around who can we use for a color man for a while? So the Chicago Blackhawks at the time are a little tight with the purse strings. They look up, see me sitting there like, Struddy, why don't you do it? So for 4 games, I was doing the color on my own team's games in Chicago, both TV and radio, and I loved it. I thought it was a great job, and I was like, and Pat Foley's like, you can really do this, and he still is the man, the voice behind Chicago Blackhawks, and ever since then, I'm like, when I'm done playing, I want to get into the media, and that's kind of where I got my start.
Makes sense. That's what a lot of the teams do in junior with the injured players, because the traveling play-by-play guy doesn't have a color guy with him, so whoever's injured, you just get them to come up in the booth with you.
I thought I was special. And then I just told me that happens all the time. But my story isn't quite as cool anymore.
No.
You're in a real hot streak. First the dog, and then this. My night's just getting worse.
Toolsy's Debbie Downer of this podcast right now.
Yeah. What's your problem today?
Well, we were talking about raccoon coats, and then we got into porcupines attacking my dog. It's just downhill from there.
Struds, Dan's mom had a raccoon fur coat. Can you believe this?
Was she a trapper? Is your dad Grizzly Adams? Or what?
She worked for the Hudson's Bay Company.
She had one of those red and white and yellow, nice blankets that the Bay used to sell all the time.
The Bay actually has gotten into nostalgia. If you go to a Bay nowadays, they've got a whole section of Hudson Bay blankets and stuff, and you can buy the Hudson Bay coats. They're getting into this.
But no raccoon.
Is that Bonnie Brooks?
Yeah, Bonnie Brooks. That's right. Yeah, she's kind of sexy.
Do you have the Bonnie Brooks commercials there?
Hi, I'm Bonnie Brooks. At the Bay, we launch an incredible 50 new fragrances every season.
Hey, oh, yeah. We hear, Bonnie Brooks. Yes,
I'm Bonnie Brooks. This week at the Bay.
I know, but listen, I don't want to be negative, but those blankets, they look nice and comfortable. You get them on, I find them scratchy. They irritate my skin.
I couldn't agree more. Yeah, they're overrated.
I saw someone send out a picture. It was a picture of those blankets you always see at your grandparents or something. So it was like that scratchy wool and had like the piece of silk at the top. And the caption was, looks comfy, but uncomfortable as hell.
Yeah, that's it.
Because they look, oh man, I could cuddle up into that. And then you're like, get off me.
Yeah. I bet your raccoon coat would be a lot more comfy.
Oh, I could cuddle up into a raccoon coat.
Hey, Struds, how did you... We first met you in Edmonton on the craft tour a couple of years ago in the summer, and Jamie Noodles McLennan took us out, and we met you. And so how did you first meet Noodles, and what can you tell us about Noodles? Because we're always looking for fascinating stories about that man who's maybe one of the most fascinating humans who's ever walked the face of the earth.
Well, he describes himself as the Forrest Gump of the sports world, and he is. He's been everywhere and seen all these great things. He's been a part of it. Maybe hasn't done it himself, but he's been a part of it, right? And the first time I met this guy, and I've learned a lot from Noodles, some good things, some bad things, and especially my social life picked up after I met Noodles, that's for sure. But we were playing in the minors together in Worcester, and this guy, he was so neurotic with his equipment. He would lay his equipment out. He'd get there like 2.5, precisely whatever. I think it was 2.5 hours before the game, lay his equipment out. And if anyone touched his equipment after he put it in place, he would blow up. So, of course, that's just an invitation to get abused. So we'd always, every time he'd go to the bathroom or go grab a drink, someone would just slightly move it. You wouldn't maybe notice it. A casual person would notice it, but he would notice, who the hell moved my... Like, he'd just snap. And it was so funny. He's like, I'm trying to get ready for a game here, and the guys would be crying, and he would just go off every time. And I'm like, this guy's crazy. But then we started hanging out away from the rink, and I realized he's an awesome guy.
Now, if both of you kept all your jerseys, because you've played for, you started with the Blazers, then when you joined the NHL, you went to the Islanders, you played for the Ice Cats, then the Kentucky Thoroughblades. So you probably went to the Kentucky Derby once or twice, right?
You know what? We were just out of the season there. I actually, the way it worked, I got called up and I wasn't able to go. But I mean, there's awesome Keeneland. It's called there in Lexington, Kentucky. It's an awesome place, and I love horse racing because of my time there. It was great. I don't win any money, but I still go and gamble, right?
So you got the Canucks, the Syracuse Crunch, Hawks, Rangers. You played in the Swiss League. You played for the Rangers, the Oilers, and then you finish in the Swedish Elite League. Did you keep a jersey from every single team?
Well, before we talk about that, I mean, take a look at the stats from the Swedish League. I had 1 point every 3 games. I mean, I was really good over there. I should have.
You were. You had 9 points in 29 games.
That's what I'm talking about. You know what's funny? And I every night I'd come home after I'd watch SportsCenter. Will they mention it tonight? Like, Cedric's on fire. You know, like even a slow Sunday afternoon, I will expect you two to say something. Hey, just for you, listen, you guys are interested. Cedric's on fire in the Swedish second division. But no, I didn't. And I do have a jersey from all my teams. And,
You did?
and kind of at the time, you know, you're like, they give you a jersey, like, great, whatever. But now that you're done, I mean, I don't have them all over my room. I don't have them, you know, anywhere special, but they're all in a bin somewhere. My wife tucked them away. And it's just kind of neat. You know, I think maybe when the kids get older, they'll pull them out and, I don't know, play dress up or whatever. But it's kind of neat to have them all.
You played with a good buddy of mine, Steve Webb, and
Rubber Man. Yeah.
Before we get into stories about him, I drove down with a buddy once to see him play. This was before the last lockout, so 2004, 2003-ish. They were playing the Ottawa Senators, and he was living in a house with Sean Bates. Who else was in there? DiPietro, Mark Parrish, a bunch of these guys. So we walk in, but it was like a crack house because you'd open up a room, a door to a room, and one of the rooms, I kid you not, was full of Marius Cherkasky jerseys. There was like 800 Marius Cherkasky jerseys just thrown on the floor. I'm like, can we have one of them? I'm like, no. Then you open up the room to the next door. It's just all dry cleaning hangers. And then another room, there's a frame for a bed, but no bed. I'm like, what is happening here?
Any rooms with raccoon coats? Were there raccoon
No.
coats in any room?
You didn't go far enough into the house. You know what I'm telling you, when hockey players, that's a funny thing. And like, I was always guilty of the same thing until I met my wife and then got married and stuff. You're basically going somewhere, unless you're planning on spending the summer, you rent a place for the winter time. You don't go out and furnish it, you don't get all this crazy stuff. As a guy, we're just like any other guy. I remember the first time, my first NHL, I bought a good bed, an unreal TV at the time, but it was about 300 pounds, and then a good couch. And then that's it. The rest you kind of just, put together as you go along.
Yeah?
Yeah, what more do you really need, actually, as a guy?
Aside from a Roman Cherkasky jersey?
Marius Cherkasky.
Did I say Roman?
Yeah. You ever think of Roman Chervenka?
I didn't say that the first time, did I?
No,
I said
no.
Marius.
No, you got it right.
The Polish prince.
That's right, the Polish prince. Wasn't he married to the Bond girl? Wasn't Cherkasky with the Bond girl? Yeah, she was smoking. Yeah.
Actually, I played with him, and I saw her, and I was like, oh, boy.
Yeah,
I remember my Webby took a bunch of our buddies out in Ottawa when he was there. He missed the flight the next day and then got sent down to the minors for the day and dock pay. But they were all at the bar, and my buddies were like trying to pick up girls, saying, yeah, I'll play for the Islanders, and Cherkasky started to get mad. And then he'd go tell the girls, they don't play for the team.
He's the moral compass of the room.
That's right.
Cherkasky, cock blocker.
Your buddy, though, Webby, this guy, we played together as minors in Worcester. We needed a little more, grit in our, everyone calls it grit or sandpaper or whatever they want to call it. So we find this guy, Webby's playing East Coast League. They bring him up. He arrives in this broken down Jeep. He gets there, like, holy geez, who's this guy? But he wanted to impress, right? He wanted to, show the coach he's ready to go. So we're simply doing a warm-up drill where you just skate around the ice, just, loosening up, and he's flying around as hard as he can. Just before he's about to go behind the net and one in the corners, he blows a wheel and goes hard as hard as anyone's ever gone into the board, and hurts his knee. And we're all dying laughing because it's only 2 minutes into warm. We're just warming up. We're not even doing drills. So he comes up. He ends up not even playing. I think Webby missed a week with the packed knee because of a warm up drill. I swear, every time I see him, I can't stop thinking about it because it's so. Yeah, this is my chance, right? It's loaded when no one's watching.
People might remember his name from, he had that one big series against the Toronto Maple Leafs, the second last time the Leafs made it to the playoffs. And if you look at any hit from that series, every single one now illegal.
I'm Brendan Shanahan of the National Hockey League's Department of Player Safety.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, it was good.
They don't even have to look at the video. They're like, no, you're 10 games there.
Yeah.
You know what? Honestly, I guess we got to protect the guys, right? I get it, but part of me misses that stuff. I miss the hard hits. I miss the Scott Stevens, the Webbs of the game. Even the Torres, these types of guys. You don't want to see anyone get hit, but I grew up watching that. I played in that era, and I wasn't a big hitter myself, but sometimes my stick got a little carried away, whatever, got a little high, but I love that hockey. Now it's transitioning to something maybe more skilled. The guys, there's not as many players that are known to fight in the team, and I feel like the game's losing a little bit of its soul. Yeah, the skill is better, but I think a little bit of the soul of the game is losing, is being lost. And it's unfortunate, but, the new game is pretty fun to watch too, I guess.
Every one of Scott Stevens' hits would have been illegal as well.
Oh, my God. You think just think what he did to Paul Correa, Lindros. I mean, he was so scared. I remember going on the ice against that guy, and I was like, oh, good, I'm a D-man against D-man. He's not going to hit me. Well, Tom Rennie, the coach in New York's like, you got to play left wing tonight. I'm like, what? Like, that's, Scott Stevens over there, right? So I'd get the puck and I would be like, Scott, I'm going to dump this in. Don't worry. Don't come hit me. Because he was the most intimidating man I ever played against on the ice. And I'm not, and there's a lot of tough guys I played against, some Boston tough guys, but intimidation, this guy was an animal.
The other thing that's changed, so you would have those massive hits thrown by guys like Scott Stevens, and play would continue, and the guy would just lie there half dead. But nowadays, if you throw a semi-hard hit, everyone goes after the guy who threw the hit. When did that change?
Well, I guess maybe, when the fighting went out, because guys that are fighting are looking for reasons to get into fight now. Mm-hmm. I remember when, before the previous lockout, so 2 lockouts ago, if you're keeping track at home, you'd go out, and I never said no to fight, and I don't remember anyone ever saying no to me. Now, maybe that's because they thought they could beat me up, but still, no one was saying no. And then after the lockout, everything changed. You're like, okay, let's go. Oh, no, we're not going now. We got to play the game. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? So now the guys, they're looking for a reason to be able to go and fight. They're trying to protect, their teammates and be involved. Because if you're a fighter and you're not fighting, really, what are you doing on the team? So I think that mentality shifted, and it's been, you're right. Now every time there's a big hit, guys want to fight each other, and or one guy wants to fight the other team, and I don't know. I guess it's just giving those guys a chance to do what they think is their job, or is their job. But like I say, it's just changing. How this settles out, what becomes the level for everyone else, I'm not sure. But I feel like the game's lost a bit of its soul.
Were you a fighter in Kentucky? You had 2 minutes under 200 minutes in PIMS. You had 198 penalty minutes there.
Yeah, you know what? I have 2 regrets in my career. One is not making to 200 pins. I never did that. I should have just taken a penalty at the end of the game just to get to 200. And the second one is never getting a hat trick. 13 times I got 1 goal in a game and I couldn't get the other 2. So I was so close to greatness so many times, right? But I know I got into a few fights there. My partner was a guy named Freddie Oduya. Now we weren't.
Oh yeah.
But he could fight, and it was we were both trying to get into NHL, so we were fighting the other team. If there's no one else fighting the other team, sometimes we have to fight each other, just to show off. We didn't want to get into NHL. Listen, we're fighting next shift, just so you guys know.
You were also involved in the, one of the things you're most famous for is being involved in the longest shootout in NHL history, and I'm sure you get asked about it a lot, but the thing I love the most about that shootout with the Capitals and Rangers was that I think John Davidson, who is the MSG color commentator at the time, was more surprised that you scored than Merrick Malik scored. So can you take us through that? Because I believe Rennie was coaching at the time, right? And so what did he say to you? Were you completely shocked when he came to you and said, you're shooting in round 14?
Well, so we get to round 14. Muir has just scored for Washington, right? So on the bench, this is what's left. There's me. There's Merrick Malik, who doesn't have more skill than me. There's Kasparaitis, who had paper hands, and then we had Fedor Tootin, who plays in Columbus now, but he had a broken finger. He had just broken it just in the third period there. So those were his choices. So Muir scores, and I'm sitting on the bench. And you know you want anyone to notice you in class? You kind of just get small and don't look at the teacher and think, oh, they won't notice me. So Tom, he goes, Struddy, you're up. And I said to myself, he didn't really say it. I ignored him. I just ignored him. And then he looks over again. He's like, Struddy, you're up. I look over and he just kind of smiles and shrugs his shoulders. So I'm like, I guess I'm going. So I jump out there, and I'll tell you what, I've never been more nervous in my life for anything, any big game, a fight, anything. I've never been so. I jump out there. Everyone's fired up. And honestly, I think my teammates are like, we're gone. This one's over, guys. We're Strudwick's not going to score. So I go down there. I remember specifically thinking, before I'm on lining up, I'm like, I'm not going to deke. I'm not known as a great deker. And I have no confidence in it for good reason. I'm like, I'm going to shoot over top of Olaf Kolzig's shoulder. Now, this guy, keep in mind, he's like 6'9", or he's a monster. Why I choose to do that, it's a bad decision. I know that already. So I'm going down the ice. I'm like, okay, top shelf. And I go to shoot, and then, some people call it you fanned on a shot or whatever. It doesn't really matter. It goes under his arm instead of going over, and I score, and I've never felt so much relief. I mean, my expression actually looks pretty cool, but I was so relieved. I was just so happy to score just because I didn't want to be that dog, right? I didn't have one chance in my life. I didn't want to be the dog that didn't score, so it was a miracle. And then Malik comes in, does that crazy move, and it was just a fun night. Like, I think that's what the shootout should be. It's just, unsung guys getting a chance to do something that's unusual for them and having fun with it.
Well, where do you stand on the It's funny because this year, more than ever, I seem to hear more and more fans say they're tired of the shootout and they're not enjoying it. Whereas I find when we're in the newsroom at night and there's a shootout, everyone's gathering around the TV and everyone's into it. And I'm sort of like, okay, it's got to be one or the other. Either we're into it or we're not. And it seems like every time a shootout's on, everyone loves watching it. So I'm for it. Where are you at it?
Yeah, I've got no problems with it. I mean, you know what? I just like I kind of mentioned, I like to see guys that don't normally go. I mean, maybe I don't know if you could somehow set up a schedule where, player X can only go, once every 10 games or something, then you could have different guys going, because I think that's what makes it interesting. And when you're on the bench, usually for every shootout I was ever involved in, as soon as it goes to shootout, my chin strap's off, I'm not doing my skates, so I know I'm not going, right? But can you imagine if there's a chance, like, you're going into a game and, your top 3 shooters have already gone in the last 10 games. So now you're into like maybe the 5th, 6th, 7th guy. And if they don't score, now you're getting to deeper in rotation where guys aren't normally going to go. So the fans want to see the top guys. But I think for me, I mean, I was one of those guys that wasn't a top player. So it's kind of fun to see those guys go. And I love it. When the shootouts go deeper, that's when I get really interested, because you see guys are so nervous in expressions. They're not ready. And they're just so nervous. But it's great. It's great to see.
I also wanted to ask you before we let you go, because I guess we should talk about a little hockey here now. You've obviously been watching the Oilers this year, and we talked about it a bit on your radio show. What's your take on the team this year? It's they're not that far out of a playoff spot, but it seems like this past week may have been tough for their chances. Do you think they're making the progress they need to make, and what do they need to do to kind of progress in the future?
Well, Oilers fans, they saw everything as rose-colored glass. It's like, we're going from 14th to 6th this year in the conference, and I'm a pretty conservative guy, so I thought they finished about 11th. They're right around there. They'll probably end up like 11th, 12th, 10th, somewhere in there. The problem is, I guess let's start with the good. The good is there's a lot of talent. I mean, you talk about Eberle, Nugent Hopkins, Sam Gagner, Yakupov, whatever, and of course Taylor Hall. I mean, this guy is a beast, and he's going to be a good player for a long time this league. The bad side is they're all very similar. They're those prototypical, just around 6 feet, maybe a little under 6 feet, 190, 195 pound players, but not known as guys that can really get to the net and engage guys physically on other teams. The last 2 games the Oilers have played against bigger teams, more physical teams in LA and Anaheim especially, and then Vancouver is no slouch themselves, but you got to be able to get to the net, get the blue paint, and win it like in the gutter, win those street fights. And there may not be less hitting, there may be, less, but there's still those battles in front of net and in the corners and on the walls, in the face-off dots. And right now the Oilers are struggling to match other teams' physical play. So, I teach other guys on other teams, and they say when you play the Oilers, you make it a street fight, and they have trouble competing. And that's what teams are doing. So the challenge for the management is to try to, address that. And how do you do that on the fly? You don't want to give up any of your good young players. You draft a guy, in the 2nd, 3rd, 5th round, whatever it takes. If they make it, could take 3-4 years. So, how much patience could you have? Because Oilers fans are starting to lose patience. They expected more this year. The team has improved, and they probably will compete again for a playoff spot next year with the same group. But if you want to compete, and it's one thing to make it to the playoffs, it's another to have success. And I don't think as this team stands right now, even if they were to make the playoffs this year, I'd have a hard time envisioning a scenario in which they make it anything past maybe 4 or 5 games in the first round.
You have to trade one of the 4. Here you go, Struds. I'm putting you on the spot. Yeah. Yaki, Hall, Nuge, Eberle. You got to trade one of the 4 to get a little more muscle up front. Which one do you trade?
Well, I think getting top flight centers is very hard. I think it's a really tough thing. Eberle just has that way about him. He's been injured this year a lot with his finger, and I think he's got a lower body injury he's been dealing with too. But he's got just a way of raising his game. We've seen it time and time again, so Eberle's not the guy. Taylor Hall, I love the way this guy competes, and he blasts through the whole just through the neutral zone and passion. He reminds me of Mark Messier. Not comparing him, but just that same passion and just want a desire to win. You just love seeing that. And Yakupov has got a great shot, sick skill, very, very good guy. But unfortunately, someone's got to go in your scenario. Yakupov's my guy. The reason is he's not quite as developed. He's a couple of years behind these other guys. I think you go with a little bit older guy. And plus, everyone is looking for a sniper. This guy can really shoot the puck. He's got great success. But someone's got to go, and if that's the case, then it's Yakupov for me.
Strudwick, thanks for coming on. When can everyone hear you on the radio in Edmonton?
Well, they hear me every night, 9 to 12, and I'm out there, punching it out, working out the airways. My little, my very attractive producer, Mark Majot, who actually, Jay, you gave him great love advice last night. I want to tell you, I appreciate that. He's in a bit of a slump, but hopefully, with my show, he's getting a little more Noradi, and the broads will start coming his way.
I think, Toolsy and I are going to be at the Central Social Hall on April the 26th, hosting an Oilers viewing party. So maybe, Struds, if you bring Mark with you that night, we can try to set him up with some of the lovely young Ukrainian girls in Edmonton.
Well, they would eat him up. He's a very attractive man, shy but very attractive, and a huge head of hair. And girls like guys with a lot of hair. At least that's what my mom used to say.
Yeah, that's they all like Toolsy. So thanks, Struds. We appreciate it, buddy.
Boys.
Take care.
It easy. Right on. Bye.
Jason Strudwick. You can hear him on the team in Edmonton.
Team 1260.
Great guy.
Yeah. And follow him on Twitter as well.
So I've never asked a guy. It's not like he played for an overwhelming amount of teams, but he's kept a jersey from every club. That's great.
I think you have to do that.
Well,
right?
I think people forget because if you get traded or something, you're like, I'm not going to go. Hey, can I have a jersey?
I haven't kept all my business cards from all the various television stations I've worked for. 3.
You could have kept a mic flash from all the stations.
That's true. I could have.
Mic flash is the thing you see at the bottom of the microphone that says the station that they're from, and a lot of the people use the iPhones now, and they're getting in the way of the people's faces.
Yeah, it's not the way it was when we started. Things have changed.
I'm an old man! Did we find out who that guy was from the Jays game?
No, I didn't. I'll try.
Maybe that was Daniel Astral.
Maybe it was. Maybe he had some Astroglide on him, and he was excited about having the bat because he could use it in some sexual way. What? Swallow wins.
I don't even know if that audio clip, it may have just be a beep now. I don't even know if we can play that audio clip.
Why not?
I think your goal is to ban us from the radio.
No.
No.
Swallow wins. Should we do TV theme vault?
Yes.
Okay, we got a couple of good ones this week.
We'll have to have Strudsy back. You venture deeper, you get some great stories.
Strudsy was great. Yeah, I really enjoyed having him on. Okay, first of all, The Muppet Show.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like what a show this was. Let's listen to this theme.
It's time to put on makeup. It's time to dress up right. It's time to get things started.
Well, they'll never get this started.
It's time to get things started on the most sensational, inspirational, celebrational, motivational. This is what we call a Muppet Show.
There's Gonzo.
People always say they remind us of the grumpy old guys in the balcony.
Yeah. Statler and Waldorf? Is that who it was? Statler and Waldorf? Yeah. Right.
I think I give you a birthday card or a Christmas card with them on it. And said, hey, here's us.
I don't remember that.
Thanks a lot. You don't remember that?
Was that recently?
Within the last year.
One thing I noticed is when they were like, it's time to put on makeup. It reminded me of the angry internet voice. You know, that angry internet voice they always
I don't
talk
want to
about?
put on makeup.
Yeah. Oh, why are you putting makeup on? Did Did you watch The Muppet Show was the greatest episode of The Muppet Show ever, though, was the Star Wars episode. Do you guys remember that? The Star Wars.
We own the box set of The Muppet Show.
And is the Star Wars app on that?
Got that deep because the daughter loses interest pretty quick.
Right, yeah. That's the thing. Shows where there was less on, so kids had more of an attention span back then, whereas now it's got to be quick.
That's right. It's no bubble guppies.
What are you talking about? We have one more. This was a huge hit, I think, in the 90s, late 80s, early 90s. And this is the show that gave us Urkel.
It's a rare condition this day and age to read any good news on the newspaper page. And love and tradition of the grand design, some people say it's even harder to find. Well, then there must be some magic clue inside these gentle walls. 'Cause all I see is a tower of dreams, real love bursting out of every scene. As days go by, we're gonna fill our house with happiness. The moon may cry, but we'll smother the blues with tenderness.
Is this like Randy Newman's less successful cousin?
So, Family Matters. 250. It went for 9 seasons?
Yeah, it was a juggernaut.
I thought it was a 3-season show.
Oh, no, because it was, your average family guy. I think it was a part of the TGIF lineup with Step by Step and Full House and all that. But then Urkel took off. He was like he was the big breakout star.
It's funny. Urkel came up. His name came up in my house the other day because my daughter was wearing her pants high. So my wife said, "What are you, Urkel?" And she's like, "Who's that?" I'm like, "That's one of Mommy's old boyfriends."
Yeah.
And then my wife's like, "No, he's a character from a TV show." So my daughter, she doesn't like any lies. She's like, "Tell me now, who's telling the truth?" So I said, "I am. I never lie."
Yeah, way to go. Messing with their head.
But look at, this is the Wikipedia page. That looks like any show in the 90s. That
the
opening still.
The title card, the opening title card. Yeah, no, exactly. It was just it should have lasted 3 seasons, but Urkel made it last for 9. Now, Mike Gentili, our producer, has a trivia question related to this show.
This is a crossover, the old spin-offs.
Yes.
So the mother on the show, who was played by... I think it was, here it is, Jamie Foxworth? Nope, sorry, hold on, here we go. Jo Marie Payton, she played Harriet Winslow, the mom.
Right.
What other show was she in at the same time?
Oh.
She worked in the elevator of another show that we've done on the podcast before. Same character worked inside an elevator at a newspaper.
Oh. A newspaper.
The Chicago Chronicle.
Perfect
newspaper.
Strangers.
There you go.
Really?
There's your trivia question of the week.
There it is right there. Wow. Now,
the old spinoff.
Yeah, so it was a spinoff. Was it a spinoff?
The show wasn't. Her character sort of was, I guess, yeah.
That's pretty cool, actually.
I would never have guessed that in 5 million years.
Actually, it says the series is a spinoff of Perfect Strangers.
They also dusted off the middle child after a while. She was like the boring sister. There was Laura that was going out with Urkel. Then there was a younger one, but the middle sister disappeared.
She just bolted.
They were like, when you look at the cast, she was only in 70 episodes.
Wow.
Laura Ingalls?
That's terrible.
No?
Yeah.
Did I do that?
Oh, no.
Didn't he put out a recording, like he became like a recording artist, didn't he? And he got all buff and he put out calendars.
I don't know, Dan.
I mean, that's what I heard.
I can't wait till the next podcast where you break down all the calendars you purchased as a teen. Taggart, did you watch Family Matters as a kid?
You know what? When hearing that song, I've never heard that song before. So, that was one of those shows where I was like, I'm smart enough to hate this. I'm old enough to think this sucks.
Yeah,
you know?
I think I was the same way.
And I remember the fact that, the actual awkwardness where Urkel, was trying to be cool. Like if you saw him on like Entertainment Tonight talking all straight, it was just left a bad taste in my mouth.
He was a contestant on Dancing with the Stars once, and he was also on a web-based series called, I lost it here, Super.
What?
Wow. What? I think he also was the bane of Tiger Woods' youth. They used to call him. They gave him that nickname. What the hell is his name again?
Urkel?
Urkel. They would call Tiger Urkel because he had glasses when he was a kid.
Oh, he was nerdy.
He was hindered by that show as well.
You must be fired up for the Masters. I know you're a huge golf fan.
I'm fired up big time, yes.
What's your golf watching ritual? Do you tell the family, hey, get out of Daddy's living room. This is Daddy's time.
Yeah, like Duffy by myself in the room.
Exactly, dark. It's dark. You've got a bottle of scotch.
No, I try to keep it. I try to keep it open, and like that. Daddy's watching the golf. I don't be like, shut up, Daddy's watching the golf. Nothing like that. I try to keep it cool, and if something's going on, I'll have to do it. But because it's the Masters, it literally is. It's like 10 hours, so you can't just say I'm gone all day. But I try to. I'm very excited about it. I do. It's one of my favorite times a year for sure.
We should point out that the first 2 rounds on TSN, the third and fourth round on Global.
We should point out who's on the phone here. Jeremy Taggart.
I just said Taggart. I addressed him as Taggart.
I know, but he's got a first name too.
Yeah, but all the listeners know him as Taggart.
Well, maybe someone's picking it up at episode 29.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Nice.
Last
Taggart loves this.
I do.
Taggart, last podcast, you gave me the Our Lady Peace Greatest Hits, and I do have a favorite. I forgot what a great tune it was, and I haven't sent you a message after cranking it like 37 times in a row. One Man Army.
Oh, that's a good one.
That is a wicked tune.
That's got some solid drums on that one there.
Yeah, what do you call those, fills?
Yeah, I call those fills, but it's almost like if you threw the drum set down the stairs. Those are those kind of fills.
Yeah, because it sounds like you go across like all of them. I don't know what the drum technique is, but you do the.
Yeah, it's very Keith Moon-esque. Yeah,
I wish.
Did I break down the drums pretty well there?
That was pretty good.
Yeah, that's exactly the sound it makes.
Absolutely.
Dan could be in the Wrecking Crew.
Ooh, Hal Blaine.
And Dan's like a young Hal Blaine. Do we have an old man story this week?
Of course.
Oh, by the way, someone started a Twitter account in your dad's name.
Yeah, it's a parody, a Ron Taggart parody account. And it's kind of funny because it's like the things that he says are like not nearly as harsh as what my dad says. So if that person's out there, they just got to kind of work on it a little more, be a little more harsh. But I guess he's made it. My dad is probably in that zone now where I'm gonna have to tell him. I'll say, this is a big deal. I don't have a parody account, and I don't know if you guys do, but that you're something on Twitter if you have a parody account.
I think that's pretty much how you know you've made it in this thing.
But it'll all end when Ron Taggart does something but he's trying to be mean now. They're like, nah, you've gone too far. You aren't even mad. He's like, yes, I am.
No. So this story that I'm going to tell you guys takes place in Cookstown when we lived there. And me and my brother were walking down the street with another friend of ours, and we were walking across this one place, and the one guy's like, we go, who lives up there? And the kid goes, oh, that's some artist. And the window was open, and the person inside was clearly like a little bit on the upset side when they heard the swearing in the artist part. So that we heard the guy lose it, and we ran away. And this guy literally got in his car and was chasing us around town. And eventually he caught us near our street, and he literally thought we were the one. Me and my brother had said it, so he was grabbing my brother and trying to throw my brother in the back of his car.
Oh no!
Whoa!
So we booked it home, and as we got home, the guy called the cops, and we get into the house, and my dad's there, and he's already had a really bad day, and he just got home from work, and my brother and I are like, Dad, this guy's trying to put Jet in the back of the car, and we don't know what the heck's going on. And the guy runs to the front door, and he said, your son called me an artist. And my dad said to my brother, he goes, did you call him an artist? And Jet goes, no. And then my dad throws the guy through the garage.
Whoa!
Like literally through, like across our garage. And the guy like goes, flying into the other side of the garage and then runs into his car. And the cops show up, and the cops are coming and they're questioning my dad. And my dad said, I hit him because, he was trying to take my son. And the cops kind of understood the situation where the guy was actually, because it didn't make sense that he was trying to throw Jet in the back of his car. Like, what was he going to do with him?
Exactly.
So the cops were kind of like, well, this is kind of odd. And my dad, even like trying to talk to the police officers, the guy was in his car, across by outside of our house. And, my dad was just kind of getting steam because the guy was sitting in the car watching us. And the cops were like, okay, don't worry. This is where, it's a misunderstanding. And then all of a sudden my dad like shoves the cop and runs to the car, and the guy's in the car. And I saw with my own eyes my dad run to the front of this guy's car and pound his fist into the hood of his car, and literally 2 huge dents where his hands hit. Like almost like he was like a G.I. Joe character. Wow. And the car like backed out and just tore off. And even the cops were like afraid to deal with my dad. He went back into the house, and I guess the fact that he was so angry and didn't understand why they tried to take Jet. They were understanding of the fact that he wasn't trying to, even though he like clocked the guy and like destroyed his car
and pushed the cop.
They let it go. What's that?
And he pushed the cop.
Yeah, the cop
and
pushed
he pushed the cop. Yeah, but they were just, I guess the fact that he, when your kid's in danger, they just for some reason they saw that that's why he was mad, not the fact that he was just having a bad day.
Know what your dad needed? A visit to Dr. Phil.
Yeah, that would go over really well. My dad can't even watch that show because he hates him so much.
Maybe there should be a show where people just gather in a studio with your dad and watch Dr. Phil and then
just wait to see what happens?
Just wait for the reaction to that.
Or here, set your dad in front of a TV, in front of a live studio audience, and we click around to TV shows to see which one he snaps at.
Yeah, well, my mom always says, like, she'll be at my house when she comes and visits, and she'll be like, oh, Ron can't watch that. Oh, I'll put that on, and Ron tells me you have to change that. Within seconds, it's like, I'm not watching that. Oh, if you're watching this, I'm going to bed.
Does he have a favorite show? Does he have a show like that soothes him, that calms him? Oprah?
He does. He likes Star Trek, like old Star Trek. and he likes history shows like Roman history or Gettysburg history. But yeah, he loves old Star Trek. Like doesn't matter if it's like the 50th time it's on, he'll watch that. And he doesn't mind that third rock from the sun. So
really?
He doesn't mind that.
So random.
I know.
I thought with the guy that squints his eyes, I thought that would really annoy him.
French Stewart?
No, he doesn't mind John Lithgow. It's funny because the sitcom has to be off the air for like 12 years for him to even take a look at it.
So that means any day now Ron's going to watch Family Matters with Urkel.
Yeah, no, he won't. He definitely won't. He used to. I remember him not letting us watch that, or like even like I said, we were cool enough to not watch that. So,
well, Taggart, I got to say,
for Ron,
you killed it again this week. God, at some point we're gonna have to get your dad down here in the studio and just really grill him.
It would he might. Maybe it might be good to get him on the phone. Maybe next time I'm down there, we can give him a call.
Start with a phone call and then maybe do the in-person meet.
Because he has a great voice, and he's the complete opposite in terms, because he's not going to be angry. He'll be very happy and joyful. So he's got a great wit. So it might be fun to have him on.
It would be good
I like
to have
it.
him on. All right, buddy. We will talk to you next week. And hey, by the way, good luck this Sunday, CFRB 1010, 8 Eastern to 9 Eastern. You'll be on the Pei Chen Show.
Yes, she's great, and we will be having a great time.
Make sure you ask her about her show 4 Squared.
Oh, I've seen it. Believe me. My kids watch that all the time.
I know.
She does the poetry with the kids.
That's right. That's she's not part of the leotard gang, thank goodness.
No, not the creepy French guys.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and I don't mean that like Don Cherry ripping on the French. You have to watch that to see the creepy French guy, because they do weird things in leotards.
Yeah, that's what Toolsy said. The leotard people. I believe that's what you called them, the leotard people.
Yeah.
Taggart, thanks, bud.
Thanks, guys. I'll see you soon.
There he is, Jeremy Taggart.
There's a band name, Weird Things in Leotards.
Or just the leotard people. You going to see the leotard people at Lee's Palace on Friday? They're unbelievable. They got a 9.3 on Pitchfork. But you're going to have to put them up after the show. They have nowhere to stay.
I was going to say, I hope they don't ask for a place to stay.
I was talking to, we get a lot of American listeners, and we sure appreciate that. And I was talking to one of our listeners via Twitter the other day, and they were saying they'd gone to literally thousands of concerts. That's what they said. Let's see if I can find this. Here it is. Okay, here's what he says. He's like, I've been to thousands of shows. That has literally never happened to me, where a guy on stage asks the crowd if he can stay somewhere. He also said that he was scolded by a homeless guy on the subway this morning for laughing while listening to your podcast during his plea for spare change. So thanks. Happy to help.
I'm glad you're a part of rock and roll history.
I feel like I might have been. I hope DuckTales didn't hear that story. I'm not trying. So I guess that's it.
Who doesn't want to die? Although, again, if you dove into a pile of gold coins, it would hurt.
I have to agree with you on that. And that was pre-loonies, so those just weren't a bunch of loonies, eh?
No. Eh? Was that the most Canadian sentence ever?
Bunch of loonies, eh?
Bunch of loonies, eh?
Can we do vintage commercial? Can we do that? I think we've.
Do we have a vintage?
Yeah, we do.
What happened to our Anything's Better Than Producer Tim? Has that segment been canceled?
Oh, we just keep forgetting to do it. We got to bring it back. Yeah.
Oh, it's a reoccurring character.
That's right.
It's like Webigail. It's like Webigail. It shows up every 6 episodes.
That's it. Okay, so here is the vintage commercial of the week.
That's fully clean. That's fully clean. You're not fully clean unless you're that fully clean. Do I look clean to you? Surprise.
No.
You look like a dirty pig.
That's fully clean. So, there's a sticky film on you that won't rinse away. But
Sticky
that rinses
film?
you fully clean. That's fully clean. You're not fully clean unless you're that fully clean.
Okay.
My mommy used to be dirty. Now.
What is...
Because the mommy was like, ooh, do I look clean to you?
I'm worried about you now. But now, Old Spice has brought back a bar soap, Toolsy, and they are doing their own version of this commercial. It's a modernized version. Give this a listen. Oh, no? Oh, we don't have that. Okay. Sorry. I thought we had that one.
Bring us.
Well, we'll talk about that next week.
We can probably insert it right here by the way of editing.
Oh, that's true. Okay, so here it is.
You gotta wash your body the manly way, and the freshness will follow you all through your day. It's literally following you everywhere. This could actually be a fairly serious problem. This is not good because he's probably ruining that person's body who he's operating on. This is way more freshness than anyone expected. New Old Spice bar soap, never leave your house again.
Hey, that's great stuff. I love listening to that.
Whoa, hilarious. Wow. Old Spice really doing a great job there.
And we should mention that our Old Spice guest, he's...
Oh, yeah, we couldn't get... Well, okay, it's... What time is it in Amsterdam right now? 3 in the morning?
It's 3:45
a.m.
2:45 in the morning. Where do you think he is?
But it feels like 3 a.m. at all times there, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah, it's great. God, it's the best city in the world. It really is, Toolsy.
I've got to go.
Yeah, absolutely you have to go. Remember when I left the Olympics and went for one night?
I wasn't there yet. That was before I arrived.
Yeah, I was right after we got there to the Olympics, and I had to go to a security meeting. Then I was like, they're like, okay, you got to be back on set at 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. I'm like, great, see you guys later. I'm flying to Amsterdam now. And I flew to Amsterdam for the night. I even got a hotel room. I could have just...
How long is that flight?
45 minutes.
That's pretty good.
It was awesome. That's the beauty of Europe, is fly to Amsterdam for the afternoon.
They do have a lot of good seat sales. I saw in the newspaper because that's all I did was read the paper.
That's right, because you couldn't get into any of the events. You bought a lot of shoes, too.
By the way, we've mentioned my shoe purchases.
Mentioned them? I think you said mentioned.
Mentioned. I bought 2 pairs of dress shoes. The one pair, which I'm wearing, less than a year old. When were the Olympics? August?
They were in 2012. Yeah.
They have a hole in them.
Yeah, but okay, you wear them every day though?
Not every day. My last pair of dress shoes lasted like 7 years. Old man Toolsy. So I bought Kenneth Cole's last time, and I'm like, these things they look good. So this time I bought some handmade English dress shoes.
Oh, yeah.
They aren't made for the Canadian winter.
Oh, yeah. Handmade, that's what they told you? These are handmade English dress shoes. You're like in a Aldo.
What are these? Ugh. Hey, look at the hole.
Don't take them off.
Russell and Bromley, London. This is London. Oh, London, Ontario.
Oh, yeah, that's unfortunate. Well, I don't know what to tell you. Maybe we can get Aldo to sponsor the podcast.
They aren't from Aldo.
No, but I'm saying maybe we can get them to sponsor us, and then you'll get all the free shoes you want.
Okay, so I'm just saying.
Then maybe you could. I'm going to say, though, maybe you rotate them a bit quicker than the 7-year mark.
Well, I'm going to rotate them because these ones are only 6 months old or so. So thanks, Russell and Bromley, for nothing.
Thanks for nothing, Russell and Bromley. But thank you, Jason Strudwick, for being on the show. He was funny as hell. I loved him. And, yeah, Isaiah Mustafa, maybe we'll have him on another time if he makes it back from Amsterdam in one piece.
Does he live there, or is he just vacationing?
Once you go there, you're kind of living there in your mind.
So, yeah, we'll look forward to that. And he can talk about the radio ad we just heard?
The TV
He's
commercial.
Not
he was in the TV commercial.
But
he
not
was the one with the mustache, took the mustache
But not
off.
the one we just heard.
Not the one we just heard, no. That's right. But we'll be back next week with episode 30. Holy man! Can you believe that?
We've hit the big time now.
Man, we've done well. I mean, we've really made it in this business.
Thanks, Astroglide. It's all because of you.
See ya. Swallow wins.
They're going home.